everyone? It's great to be back on the Mayo Media Network, here to talk some NHL DFS with you. That's right, we're going to focus in on that 11-game slate for Saturday. But before we hop into my favorite line stacks and individual plays here, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the Mayo Media Network. Not only can you catch me on here come Saturdays to talk some NHL DFS with you, Pat and his team have a lot of content coming out Monday through Sunday. You don't want to miss out on any of that. And hey, any of you interested in winning some free money? Pat is giving that away right now as well. All you need to do is like this video, subscribe to the Mayo Media Network, and leave a 5-star review on the Apple Pods. Now you got a shot at winning $100. So like, subscribe, 5-star review on the Apple Pods. All right, let's hop into these plays for Saturday. Now, for those of you who are new to this channel, or at least new to this video, here's a quick breakdown on how this is going to work. For starters, do want to mention here I have the highest implied game totals in the top left-hand corner, just breaking down the top 6 games with the highest implied total, and then you can see here the top 6 teams with the best Vegas odds to win tomorrow night. So let me move my fat head out of the way there quickly, so you can see what we got. So we want to be targeting games and teams with high implied totals, and on an 11-game slate like this, we really don't need to worry about ownership. Such a big player pool, most if not all players will have lower than 10% ownership. You might see some guys go above that, but the chalky plays won't be owned quite as high as you would expect them to be. So let's hop into my plays here, kicking it off with my favorite line stacks. The first one I want to highlight here is that first line out of Winnipeg, Mark Scheifele centering Kyle Connor and Blake Wheeler. So these guys have played 4 games together now, as a line. That is. They've been playing together for a few years, but as a line this year, they've played 4 games together, and they've been awesome in all 4 games. They have 5 goals and 11 assists in those 4 games, basically averaging 4 points per game. So anytime any line is doing that, I want to have some attention on that. They're playing the Canucks here, who are starting to play a little bit better as of late, albeit that was against the Ottawa Senators, who still just don't look very good. Definitely rebuilding at this point, but the Canucks have started to click here a little bit as of late. That being said, I do think there's some shootout potential here. The Canucks are still allowing 3.6 goals per game, and this line averaging 4 points per game, that seems like a recipe for success against the Canucks. So I love these guys, all very talented, play top power play minutes, top minutes in general. I'm going to fire them up on Saturday. The next line stack I like here is going to be that first line out of Tampa. So we got Braden Point centering Steven Stamkos and Andre Palat. Now these guys and this team was blanked in their last game. They lost to the Hurricanes 1-0, but the odds of this team being shut out on back-to-back games, very, very, very unlikely, especially against this Nashville Predators team that hasn't been afraid to give up goals to start this season. They are traveling on the road to play in Tampa, so there's always a little bit of a bonus there as well. But yeah, this team in Tampa, the odds of them getting shut out back-to-back games, I will always bet that that doesn't happen. So I expect a bounce-back spot here from this first line in Tampa. I'll play top minutes, play on that top power play. And again, I like this matchup here against Nashville. Have not been afraid to give up goals, and that's not to say their defense have been horrible. It's more so the goalies that haven't been all that great. So I do assume that UC Swaros will play in this game. If it's Pekka Rinne, all the better. I want even more exposure to this first line, but not afraid to fire him up against this Nashville team in general. All right, now hopping on down here to my favorite individual play. So I like paying up for forwards on this slate here, paying down for defensemen, and probably going to pay up for goalies as well. So you notice here on the forward side, a little more expensive, but I do believe all 4 of these guys have great upside in their matchups and even offer some value at their price tag. So the first guy I got there is Patrice Bergeron at $7,700 playing the Washington Capitals. This guy has been awesome to start the season, has double-digit DraftKings points in 5 of 7 games, and in those 5 games where he's hit double-digit DraftKings points, he's hit over 20 points in 4 of those games. So been lights out to start the season, plays on that top power play, plays on the first line with Brad Marchand, and it sounds like David Pastrnak is going to be back in this game as well. I don't know if I have an official word quite yet, but it sounds like it's a very optimistic thing that he plays tomorrow against the Caps. So don't even mind firing them up as a line stack. You do like to see how guys are coming off of injury play at least 1 or 2 games, but Pastrnak, one of the most talented forwards in the league, you could fire those guys up as a line stack. But either way, I like Bergeron here. I'm not sure what's going to happen in this game against the Caps. I think it's a coin flip for being a shootout or a low-scoring game. If Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, and those guys do come back tomorrow. I expect it to be a little more high scoring, but we haven't got word if they are going to play. So either way, like Bergeron here, especially considering Pastrnak might be back. Next guy I got there is Leon Draisaitl. DraftKings can just not get this guy's price tag right. He should at least be $8,000. So as long as he's in this mid to low 7K range, I'm going to continue to play him. The guy scored a goal in 5 straight games, has 6 goals during that stretch. They've played 9 games this year. He has double-digit DraftKings points in 7 of those games. He's just one of the most talented players in the league, and DraftKings keeps getting his price wrong. So as long as they keep giving him to us at a discount, I'm going to keep firing him up. Playing the Maple Leafs here, definitely some shootout potential in that game. Plays on the top power play with McDavid. I'm telling you guys, he's just too cheap here. I know $7,500 might seem like a lot, but he really should be $8K. Now, one guy who started the season really slow, but has started to figure his game out here over the last handful of games, is Elias Pettersson. I'm talking, didn't even look like the same player to begin the year. Was just gripping the stick a little bit too tight. You could tell he was clearly frustrated on the ice. Got fined for taking a slashing penalty. Pettersson just didn't look like the PD that we're accustomed to seeing. That being said, over the past 4 games here, he started to click a little bit, has 3 goals, 2 assists over that 4-game stretch, and just looks a lot happier on the ice. So in my opinion, I think we're getting him at a price discount here at 6.3K. Again, he did go through a bit of a slump there to start the season. So DraftKings and maybe some other people probably aren't on him quite yet, but he looks like he's really starting to heat up here. I like this matchup against the Jets. You could run it back with a guy like Petey if you stack up that first line for Winnipeg. Even Petey's line there with JT Miller and Brock Besser is an interesting line stack as well. So maybe just do a game stack there. A lot of different ways to attack 11-game slate, but Pettersson really starting to heat up, like I said, and I like him at this $6,300 price tag. And then the last forward play there, William Nylander. Think he's too cheap at $5,300 here, playing on that second line with John Tavares and on that second power play, well, again, with John Tavares. You could probably argue that second power play is just as talented as that first power play in Toronto. Looks like they're just trying to spread the love out a little bit. But in any case, $5,300 here, I do believe that's too cheap. He has 3 goals and 5 assists to start the season. Played 9 games, so not quite a point per game, but just under. When you're playing with a guy like Tavares, you're going to get opportunity. It's a guy, I mentioned it in previous videos, who had a great breakout season last year, scored over 30 goals, had at least 30 assists, just looked like a different player, very comfortable on the ice. So, like I'm here at $5,300. I already mentioned here that there's some shootout potential against the Oilers, so you can fire up a guy like Leon Draisaitl, William Nylander. A game stack in general is intriguing, but think he's too cheap here at $5,300 as well. Now moving over to the defenseman here, I mentioned that I probably won't pay up for defensemen on this slate. I like paying up for forwards. There is one guy, though, Roman Josi at $5,800 that I would be willing to pay up for. I mentioned that Tampa probably bounces back in this game, but that's not to say that Roman Josi can't get points. He's a guy who plays 22, 24, 26 minutes a night as a defenseman, definitely the top defenseman on that Predators team, plays on the top power play, can block shots, can shoot the puck a lot, and can get on the score sheet. So he's just a defenseman that can get DraftKings points a lot of different ways. Again, I expect Tampa to win this game, so maybe he racks up a lot of points blocking shots. You block 3 shots, you get that 3-point DraftKings bonus. He's very capable of doing that. So if there is one guy that stuck out to me that I do want to pay up for, it's a guy like Roman Josi. Next guy here is Darnell Nurse at $4,500. He got promoted a couple of games ago to that first power play unit in Edmonton. Now he's playing with McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins on that top power play. And when you play with those 3 guys, opportunity will follow, and he's made the most of it so far in those 2 games that he's played on the top power play. Had 3 assists in the first game, 2 of them coming on the power play, and then had an assist last game as well. Now, on top of playing on that top power play, this guy plays top minutes as a defenseman as well, anywhere from, again, 22, 24, 26 minutes. It's number 1 defenseman playing time, so I like him at this price tag here. I've already mentioned a couple times that there's shootout potential in that game against the Leafs. $4,500 is a perfect price tag with with a guy that has upside like he does. And then another guy who just got promoted, Noah Dobson, also got promoted to that first power play in New York, the Islanders to be exact. $3,600 is a great value price here for Dobson. He's playing more and more each and every game. You can tell the Islanders want to give him a little more responsibility with every game, and they're certainly doing that. At $3,600, really stuck out to me. Has 1 goal and 4 assists to start the year. I think we're going to see this kid only get better with each and every game. So a low-priced option here. Like I said, I do prefer to pay down for defensemen on this slate. Noah Dobson is a perfect guy to target at $3,600. And then onto the goalie here, we got Andrei Vasilevskiy. So a lot of different goalies, obviously, to choose from on this 11-game slate, 22 to be exact. You want to be targeting goalies that can get wins, but also goalies that can rack up a lot of shots. I think Andrei Vasilevskiy is a perfect candidate for that. $8,300 is kind of expensive for goaltenders, but like I said, I'm not afraid to pay up for a goalie. And when a goalie's on, they're basically guaranteed for 15 plus DraftKings points with upside of 30. So I like Vasilevskiy here. I do think they win this game against Nashville. You can see the Vegas odds there at -167. Nashville can shoot the puck, though. They have enough firepower to when they can bring some heat to Vasilevskiy, so I like that as well. But Vasilevskiy, one of the best tenders in the league. I think Tampa does bounce back here. Lost 1-0 last game, but now they're back at home, so I like this matchup, and I think Vasilevskiy not only gets the win, but can rack up DraftKings points as well. And then the last section of this video here is going to be that low-priced option or a sub 4K for a play. We're going to roll with Carter Verhaeghe on this Saturday slate at $3,800. This guy's playing on the first line for the Florida Panthers right now, playing with a guy like Alexander Barkov, playing big minutes for them as well. Over the past couple of games, he's played at least 19 plus minutes. Also gets some time on that second power play. So I love targeting guys that are on the first power play, but for a low-priced option, anybody that's below 4K but still gets power play time, that is intriguing. Now, on top of getting all that opportunity for Verhaeghe right now, he's making the most of it. Has 4 goals and 2 assists in his first 4 games to start the year. He's been hot out the gate. Clearly gelling with Barkov as well, and now he's playing the Detroit Red Wings here, who still look like one of the worst teams in the NHL. So I like Verhaeghe, $3,800. It is a low-priced option play, but this dude's been hot, and don't think it will be long before we see him go above 4K as long as he keeps this up. All right, everyone, that's going to wrap up this video here. As always, thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit the like button to the video and subscribe to the Mayo Media Network. You can catch me on here every Saturday talking some NHL DFS. So don't miss out on that. Let's have a great day. Let's win some money on this slate. I'm out of here.